Trans man kicked out of gym, then buys it and changes all the rules. How will this story escalate? To find out, watch the video to the end. But first, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to get more stories like this. The heavy clang of weights and the rhythmic hum of treadmills filled the air at Iron Ridge Gym, a space that prided itself on its reputation for being a haven for the strong and dedicated. Leo, a trans man in his late 20s, had been a regular there for the past 6 months. With each visit, he poured his heart and soul into every lift, every sprint, determined to prove to himself and the world that he belonged. For Leo, the gym was more than just a place to work out. It was a sanctuary, a space where he could push past his limits and feel truly at home in his own body. But despite his dedication, not everyone shared his sense of acceptance. One day, while Leo was in the middle of a particularly intense deadlift session, he felt a pair of eyes boring into him. He turned to see Grant, one of the gym's managers, standing nearby with a stern expression. Being rigid and unyielding, someone who valued rules and order above all else. "Leo," Grant called out, his voice cutting through the noise of the gym. "Can I talk to you for a second?" Leo set the barbell down and wiped the sweat from his brow. "Sure, what's up?" Grant gestured for Leo to follow him to the office. As they walked, Leo felt a knot of anxiety form in his stomach. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Once inside the office, Grant closed the door and leaned against the desk, crossing his arms. "Look, Leo, I've gotten some complaints from other members." Leo's heart sank. "Complaints? About what?" Grant hesitated, his gaze avoiding Leo's. "Some people feel uncomfortable sharing the locker room with you." Leo felt a wave of anger and hurt wash over him. "Uncomfortable? I've done nothing but mind my own business." "I understand that," Grant said quickly, as if trying to diffuse the tension. "But the fact is, this is causing a disruption. I think it'd be best if you found another gym." Leo stared at him in disbelief. "You're kicking me out? For existing?" "It's not personal," Grant said, his tone clipped. "We just have to think about the majority of our members." Leo clenched his fists, his mind racing. "I'm a paying member, just like everyone else. I have a right to be here." Grant sighed, clearly impatient. "Look, I'm sorry, but my decision is final. I'll refund your membership fee if that helps." Leo stood frozen, his emotions swirling between humiliation and fury. Without another word, he turned and walked out of the office, his head held high despite the tears threatening to spill. Leo stormed out of the gym, his chest tight with anger and hurt. The words Grant had said echoed in his mind. "It's not personal. We have to think about the majority." It didn't feel like anything but personal. He had poured himself into this space, worked hard to feel like he belonged, and yet it was snatched away in an instant because some people were uncomfortable. As he walked home, his thoughts raced. This wasn't the first time he'd faced discrimination, but it didn't make the sting any less painful. All he had wanted was a place to focus on himself, a place to feel strong and whole. Now, it felt like even that was too much to ask. By the time he reached his apartment, Leo's frustration had morphed into determination. He refused to let Grant's actions, and the prejudice of a few gym members, define him. He sat down at his kitchen table, opened his laptop, and began researching. If they didn't want him at their gym, maybe it was time to create a space of his own. In Leo's mind for weeks. He started sketching out a plan, scribbling ideas into a notebook late into the night. At first, it was just a way to vent his frustration, a dream of what a truly inclusive gym could look like. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized it was possible. Leo reached out to his friends for advice, starting with Mia, a personal trainer he'd met at the gym. She had been one of the few people there who had always treated him with kindness and respect. "You're serious about this?" Mia asked when they met at a local cafe to talk about his idea. "Dead serious," Leo replied. "I'm tired of places like Iron Ridge Gym claiming to be for everyone but making people like me feel unwelcome. I want to create a space where no one has to deal with that." Mia nodded, her eyes lighting up. "I love it. You've got the passion, Leo, and I think people would rally behind this. But it's going to take a lot of work and money." "I know," Leo said. "That's why I need help. I don't know the first thing about running a gym, but I know what it feels like to need one. Mia leaned back in her chair, a thoughtful look on her face. You know, there's a community grant program in the city for projects that promote inclusivity. If you pitch this, you might be able to get funding. Leo's heart skipped a beat. A grant? How does that work? It's competitive, Mia admitted, but I think you've got a strong case. Plus, I can help you put together a proposal. Over the next few weeks, Leo and Mia worked tirelessly on the grant application. They gathered data, wrote a mission statement, and outlined their vision for the gym, a space that celebrated diversity, offered affordable memberships, and provided a safe, supportive environment for everyone, regardless of gender, background, or fitness level. Leo also reached out to other members of the LGBTQ+ community, as well as allies who shared his vision. The response was overwhelmingly positive. People shared stories of feeling excluded or judged in traditional gyms and expressed excitement about the idea of a space that truly prioritized inclusivity. The day they submitted the grant application, Leo felt a mix of nerves and hope. He knew the competition would be tough, but he also knew their proposal was strong. Now, all they could do was wait. While they waited for a response, Leo threw himself into planning. He scouted potential locations, researched gym equipment, and met with local businesses to discuss partnerships. It was daunting, but it also gave him a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a long time. One evening, as Leo sat at his laptop, his phone buzzed with a new email. His stomach flipped when he saw the subject line, Community Grant Program Decision. He opened the email with trembling hands, his heart pounding. As his eyes scanned the words, a grin spread across his face. "We got it," he shouted, leaping out of his chair. Mia, who was on a video call with him, let out a cheer. "I knew it. This is huge, Leo. You did it." "We did it," Leo corrected, his voice filled with gratitude. "I couldn't have done this without you." With the grant money secured, Leo's dream began to take shape. He found a location, a former warehouse that had plenty of space for equipment and classes, and began transforming it into the gym he had always envisioned. He worked day and night, with friends and volunteers pitching in to help with renovations. They painted the walls in bright, welcoming colors and hung posters celebrating diversity and inclusivity. A rainbow flag took pride of place near the entrance, a symbol of the gym's commitment to being a safe space for all. When the gym, named True Strength Fitness, finally opened its doors, the response was overwhelming. People from all walks of life came to check it out, from seasoned athletes to beginners who had never set foot in a gym before. Leo stood at the front desk, greeting each new member with a smile and a sense of pride. "Welcome to True Strength," he said to one newcomer, a nervous-looking teenager. "Let me show you around." As Leo led the teenager through the gym, he couldn't help but think about his own first time at Iron Ridge. He had been nervous, too, scared of being judged, of not fitting in. But now, he had the chance to create a different experience for others, and he was determined to make the most of it. True Strength quickly became a hub for the community. The gym offered more than just workouts. It hosted support groups, wellness workshops, and social events. Members formed friendships and found a sense of belonging that extended far beyond fitness. One day, as Leo was tidying up the front desk, he noticed a familiar face walk through the doors. It was Grant, the manager from Iron Ridge Gym. Leo's heart skipped a beat, but he kept his composure. "Grant," he said, his voice neutral. "What brings you here?" Grant looked sheepish, avoiding Leo's gaze. "I heard about this place," he said. "It seems different?" "It is," Leo replied simply. "What do you need?" Grant hesitated before speaking. "I came to apologize," he said finally, "for how I treated you. I was wrong and I see that now. You've built something incredible here and I just wanted to say, I'm sorry." Leo studied Grant for a moment, his emotions swirling. He could still feel the sting of being kicked out of Iron Ridge, but he also saw sincerity in Grant's eyes. "Thank you," Leo said after a moment. "I appreciate that. But this isn't just about me, it's about creating a space where no one has to go through what I did." Grant nodded, his expression thoughtful. "You've done something amazing here, Leo. I hope you know that." Leo felt a surge of pride. "I do. And I'm just getting started." True Strength Fitness flourished, becoming more than just a gym. It became a symbol of change and empowerment. Members from all over the city began to share their experiences on social media, praising the gym for its inclusivity and supportive atmosphere. Testimonials poured in from people who had felt ostracized in other gyms, sharing how true strength had given them a new lease on life. Leo took pride in these stories, but he never let himself grow complacent. He regularly held feedback sessions with members to ensure the gym was meeting their needs. He wanted True Strength to be a living, evolving space, shaped by the community it served. One day, during one of these sessions, a member named Claire raised her hand. Claire was a trans woman in her early 30s, and she had been one of the gym's first members. "Leo," she began, her voice steady but emotional, "I just want to thank you for creating this place. For the first time in my life, I feel safe working out. I don't have to look over my shoulder or worry about being judged. It's a gift I never thought I'd have." The room erupted into applause, and Leo felt a lump rise in his throat. "Thank you, Claire," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Your words mean everything to me. This gym exists because of people like you, people who deserve a space where they can thrive." Despite its success, True Strength wasn't without its challenges. Leo faced occasional pushback from critics who accused the gym of being too political or excluding others by focusing on inclusivity. These comments often came from people who didn't understand, or didn't want to understand, the importance of creating safe spaces. One particularly vocal critic was Kevin, a former member of Iron Ridge Gym who had a history of making transphobic remarks. He took to social media, posting rants about True Strength and accusing Leo of dividing the fitness community. At first, Leo tried to ignore the negativity, focusing instead on the overwhelming support from his members. But when Kevin's posts started gaining traction, with others chiming in to criticize the gym, Leo knew he had to address it. He decided to write an open letter, which he posted on True Strength's website and social media pages. In it, he shared his personal journey and the reasons behind the gym's mission. True Strength Fitness was born out of a need for a space where everyone, regardless of their identity, could feel safe and supported. This isn't about excluding anyone, it's about including those who have been excluded for far too long. We believe in the power of community, and we won't let negativity deter us from our mission. The letter went viral, with thousands of people sharing it and expressing their support. Messages poured in from around the world, with people thanking Leo for standing up for what he believed in. Even some of Kevin's supporters began to change their tune, admitting they hadn't fully understood the importance of True Strength's mission. As True Strength continued to grow, Leo found himself in high demand. Local media outlets reached out for interviews, eager to tell the story of the gym's success. Leo was initially hesitant, he wasn't used to being in the spotlight, but Mia encouraged him to embrace the opportunity. "Your story needs to be heard," she told him. "You're inspiring people, Leo. Don't underestimate the impact you're having." One of the first interviews was with a popular local news station. The segment featured footage of the gym, interviews with members, and a sit-down conversation with Leo. "Leo," the interviewer began, "what inspired you to start True Strength Fitness?" Leo smiled, thinking back to the moment that had sparked it all. "It started with a personal experience, being told I didn't belong in a space where I had every right to be. That hurt, but it also motivated me. I wanted to create a space where no one would ever feel that way again." The interviewer nodded. "And how has the community responded?" "It's been incredible," Leo said. "The support has been overwhelming, and it's clear that there was a real need for a gym like this. It's not just about working out, it's about creating a sense of belonging." The segment aired later that week, and the response was immediate. Membership inquiries surged, and Leo received countless messages from people thanking him for sharing his story. One afternoon, as Leo was reviewing membership applications at the front desk, he noticed a familiar face walk through the door. It was Sarah, a young woman who had been one of the people to complain about him at Iron Ridge Gym. Leo's heart skipped a beat, but he maintained his composure. "Sarah," he said, his tone neutral. "What brings you here?" Sarah hesitated, clearly nervous. "I heard about this place," she said, "and I wanted to see it for myself." Leo raised an eyebrow. "I'm surprised, given how things ended at Iron Ridge." Sarah winced, her cheeks flushing. I know, and I'm sorry. I was wrong to say what I did. It wasn't fair to you, and it wasn't fair to anyone else who's ever felt unwelcome in a space like that. Leo studied her for a moment, his emotions swirling. He could see the sincerity in her expression, and while he still felt the sting of her past actions, he also believed in the power of change. Thank you for saying that, he said finally. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. Sarah nodded, relief washing over her face. I've been doing a lot of thinking since then, and I want to do better. I'd like to join the gym. If you'll have me. Leo considered her request. This gym is for everyone, Sarah, as long as you're here to support and uplift others. If you're ready to do that, then you're welcome. Sarah smiled, her eyes shining with gratitude. Thank you, Leo. I won't let you down. As True Strength approached its one-year anniversary, Leo decided to host a celebration to thank the members who had made the gym a success. The event included fitness challenges, group classes, and a heartfelt speech from Leo. Standing on a makeshift stage in the middle of the gym, Leo looked out at the crowd, a diverse group of people who had become more than just members. They were a family. When I started this gym, Leo began, I had no idea it would grow into what it is today. True Strength isn't just a name, it's a reminder of what we're capable of when we support each other. This gym exists because of all of you, and I'm so grateful for the community we've built together. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Leo felt a surge of pride. He had turned pain into purpose, rejection into resilience, and a dream into reality. As the celebration continued, Leo spotted Mia across the room, talking to a group of members. He made his way over to her, a wide grin on his face. We did it, he said, pulling her into a hug. Mia laughed. No, you did it. I just helped a little. Leo shook his head. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. That means everything. Mia smiled. And look at you now, changing lives, one deadlift at a time. As the anniversary celebration carried on, Leo felt overwhelmed by the love and support radiating throughout the gym. True Strength had become more than just a gym. It was a home, a beacon for people seeking refuge from judgment and rejection. The highlight of the evening was the unveiling of a mural that covered one of the gym walls. It had been painted by local artists, many of whom were members of True Strength. The mural depicted a vibrant collage of strength and unity, people of all shapes, sizes, genders, and backgrounds working together to achieve their goals. As the sheet covering the mural was pulled away, gasps and cheers filled the room. Leo stood in front of it, tears glistening in his eyes as he took in the stunning artwork. A crowd began to chant, "Speech, speech," and Leo laughed nervously, stepping up to the small stage they had set up. I don't know where to start, Leo began, his voice steady but emotional. When I first envisioned this gym, I was filled with so much anger and frustration. I felt rejected and cast aside, and I didn't know if I had the strength to rise above it. He paused, scanning the faces in the crowd, familiar faces that had become a source of strength and inspiration. But I've learned something over this past year. Strength isn't just about how much weight you can lift or how far you can run. True strength is about resilience, compassion, and lifting each other up. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Leo continued. This gym wouldn't exist without all of you. Every one of you has brought something special to this space, and together, we've created something beautiful. This mural, he gestured to the wall behind him, isn't just art. It's a reminder of what we stand for: inclusion, acceptance, and the belief that everyone deserves a place to belong. When he finished, the crowd gave him a standing ovation. Leo stepped down from the stage and was immediately swarmed by hugs and congratulations. Among the well-wishers was Claire, who had tears streaming down her face. Leo, that was beautiful, she said, pulling him into a tight hug. You've changed so many lives, including mine. Thank you for everything. Leo smiled, his heart full. Thank you, Claire. You're the reason I keep going. Over the next few months, True Strength continued to grow. The gym became a model for inclusivity, inspiring other businesses to adopt similar practices. Leo was invited to speak at conferences and workshops, sharing his journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. One day, Leo received an unexpected email from a representative of Iron Ridge Gym. They had seen the success of True Strength and wanted to discuss potential collaboration opportunities. Leo was stunned. The same gym that had cast him out was now reaching out to him for guidance. Mia, ever the voice of reason, advised him to approach the situation carefully. This could be an opportunity to make a bigger impact, she said. But only if they're serious about change. Leo agreed to meet with the representative, a woman named Rachel, who seemed genuinely interested in improving the culture at Iron Ridge. Leo, Rachel began, I want to start by saying how impressed we are with what you've built at True Strength. Your story has inspired so many people, and we recognize that we have a lot to learn. Leo raised an eyebrow. I appreciate that, Rachel. But I need to know what's changed. What makes you think Iron Ridge is ready for this conversation? Rachel nodded, her expression earnest. We've been hearing from members, people who've left because they felt unwelcome or unsupported. It's made us realize that we need to do better. And we think you're the perfect person to help us do that. Leo studied her, his mind racing. Part of him wanted to reject the offer outright, unwilling to forgive the hurt they had caused. But another part of him saw an opportunity to create real change. I'll consider it, Leo said finally. But I need to see genuine commitment from your team. This isn't just about optics, it's about creating a culture of respect and inclusivity. Rachel nodded. Absolutely. We're ready to do the work. Leo decided to move forward cautiously, agreeing to hold a series of workshops for Iron Ridge staff and members. The sessions focused on empathy, inclusion, and the importance of creating safe spaces. It wasn't easy, there were moments of resistance and discomfort, but Leo approached each challenge with patience and determination. One of the most powerful moments came during a session with Iron Ridge's leadership team. Grant, the manager who had kicked Leo out, was in attendance. As Leo spoke about the impact of exclusion and the importance of accountability, Grant shifted uncomfortably in his seat. At the end of the session, Grant approached Leo. I owe you an apology, he said, his voice heavy with regret. I was wrong to treat you the way I did. And seeing what you've built here, it's made me realize how much I still have to learn. Leo studied Grant for a moment before nodding. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong, he said. But this isn't just about me. It's about making sure no one else has to go through what I did. Grant nodded, his expression earnest. I'm committed to making that happen. The collaboration between True Strength and Iron Ridge marked a new chapter in Leo's journey. By working together, they were able to reach even more people and create a broader culture of inclusivity in the fitness community. Leo often reflected on how far he had come since that day in Grant's office. What had started as a moment of rejection had blossomed into a movement of empowerment and change. And while the journey had been challenging, it had also been deeply rewarding. One evening, as Leo locked up True Strength for the night, he took a moment to look around the gym. The mural on the wall, the rows of equipment, the sense of belonging that filled the air, it was all a testament to what could be achieved when people came together. Leo smiled to himself, his heart full of gratitude. He knew his work wasn't finished. There were still barriers to break, minds to change, and lives to uplift. But for the first time in a long time, he felt at peace. He had found his true strength, and he was determined to help others find theirs. Months after the collaboration with Iron Ridge Gym began, Leo noticed something remarkable. Not only was True Strength Fitness thriving, but Iron Ridge had started to undergo a transformation as well. Messages poured in from members of both gyms, sharing stories of how the new policies and culture had positively impacted their lives. One such message came from Sarah, the same woman who had once complained about Leo. She had since become an active member of True Strength and had even volunteered to help with the workshops at Iron Ridge. Leo, her email began, I can't thank you enough for giving me a second chance. Being part of True Strength has opened my eyes in ways I never thought possible. I've learned so much about empathy and inclusion, and it's inspired me to be a better person. Not just at the gym, but in all areas of my life. You've created something truly special, and I'm so grateful to be part of it. Reading her words, Leo felt a surge of pride and hope. It was moments like these that reminded him why he had started this journey in the first place. As True Strength's reputation continued to grow, Leo was approached by a national fitness organization to speak at their annual conference. The event was a prestigious gathering of industry leaders, and the invitation was both an honor and a challenge. Leo had never seen himself as a public speaker, but Mia encouraged him to accept. "This is your chance to make an even bigger impact," she said. "You've got an incredible story, and people need to hear it." Taking a deep breath, Leo agreed. Over the next few weeks, he worked tirelessly on his speech, drawing on his experiences and the lessons he had learned. When the day of the conference arrived, he stood backstage, his palms sweaty but his resolve firm. The room was packed with hundreds of attendees, all eager to hear from the man who had turned adversity into opportunity. As Leo stepped onto the stage, the crowd erupted into applause, and he felt a wave of nervous energy wash over him. "Good afternoon," he began, his voice steady. "My name is Leo, and I'm here to share a story about rejection, resilience, and the power of community." He spoke candidly about his experience at Iron Ridge, the pain of being told he didn't belong, and the fire it had ignited within him to create something better. He described the journey of building True Strength Fitness, the challenges he had faced, and the incredible people who had supported him along the way. "True Strength isn't just the name of my gym," Leo said, his voice filled with emotion. "It's a philosophy. It's about finding strength in vulnerability, in connection, and in standing up for what's right. It's about creating spaces where everyone feels seen, valued, and supported." As he finished, the room erupted into a standing ovation. Tears welled in Leo's eyes as he took in the sight. So many people inspired by his story, ready to carry his message forward. The conference proved to be a turning point. Leo's speech went viral online, and he was flooded with messages from people all over the world. Many shared their own experiences of exclusion and expressed gratitude for the work he was doing. One message stood out in particular. It was from a man named Javier, who ran a small gym in a rural town. "Leo," Javier wrote, "your story moved me to tears. I've been struggling to create a more inclusive environment at my gym, but I didn't know where to start. Your words gave me hope and a roadmap. Thank you for showing me what's possible." Leo immediately reached out to Javier, offering to share resources and advice. Over the following months, they developed a close partnership, with Javier implementing many of True Strength's principles at his own gym. The transformation was remarkable, and Javier often sent updates, sharing how his members were embracing the changes. As True Strength approached its second anniversary, Leo decided to host another celebration, this time, a citywide event to highlight the importance of inclusivity in fitness. The event featured panel discussions, fitness classes, and a showcase of local businesses that shared True Strength's values. The highlight of the day was a panel discussion featuring Leo, Mia, and several members of the gym who had powerful stories to share. Among them was Claire, who had become one of True Strength's most vocal advocates. "Before I found this gym," Claire said, her voice trembling with emotion, "I didn't think a place like this could exist. I had been turned away so many times, sometimes outright, sometimes in subtle ways that made me feel invisible. But True Strength gave me a home. It showed me that I belong, and it gave me the courage to believe in myself again." Her words brought tears to the eyes of many in the audience, including Leo. He reached over to squeeze her hand, his heart swelling with pride. "Claire's story is why we do what we do," Leo said, turning to the audience. "This isn't just about fitness, it's about building a community where everyone feels safe and supported. And we're just getting started." In the weeks following the event, Leo began to explore new ways to expand True Strength's impact. He launched an online platform, offering virtual classes and resources for people who couldn't access the physical gym. The platform also included forums and support groups, creating a global community of like-minded individuals. The response was overwhelming. People from all over the world joined the platform, sharing their stories and connecting with others who understood their struggles. True Strength had gone from a local gym to a worldwide movement, and Leo couldn't have been prouder. One day, as he sat in his office reflecting on how far they had come, Mia walked in with a wide grin on her face. "Guess what?" she said, holding up a letter. "What's that?" Leo asked, curious. "It's an invitation," Mia said, handing it to him. "You've been nominated for the Community Leadership Award." Leo stared at the letter, his heart racing. The award was a prestigious honor, recognizing individuals who had made significant contributions to their communities. He couldn't believe he had been nominated. "This is incredible," he said, his voice filled with awe. "But I couldn't have done any of this without you, Mia." Mia shrugged, her grin widening. "You're the heart of true strength, Leo. This is all you." The awards ceremony was held a few months later, and Leo attended with Mia, Claire, and several other members of the True Strength family. As he sat in the audience, listening to the stories of the other nominees, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. When his name was called as the winner, he walked to the stage in a daze, the applause echoing around him. He accepted the award with trembling hands and stepped up to the microphone. "This award isn't just for me," Leo said, his voice steady despite the lump in his throat. "It's for every person who has ever felt like they didn't belong. It's for everyone who has faced rejection and found the strength to rise above it. True strength is more than a gym, it's a movement. And I'm so honored to be part of it." As he left the stage, clutching the award, Leo looked out at the audience and saw his friends beaming with pride. He had turned his pain into purpose, and in doing so, he had changed countless lives, including his own. As Leo left the awards ceremony that evening, the weight of the moment began to sink in. The Community Leadership Award was a testament not only to the work he had done but also to the resilience and support of the people who had believed in him along the way. For every challenge he had faced, there had been someone who lifted him up, encouraged him, and reminded him of the power of community. Back at the gym, the staff and members had organized a surprise celebration for him. As Leo walked through the doors, the lights flicked on, and the room erupted into cheers. Balloons and banners filled the space, and a giant sign above the mural read, "Congratulations, Leo, our true leader." Mia stepped forward, a mischievous grin on her face. "We couldn't let this moment pass without celebrating you, Leo. You've done so much for us. It's time we show you how much you mean to all of us." Leo laughed, shaking his head in disbelief. "You guys didn't have to do this?" "Oh, we absolutely did," Claire chimed in, stepping up beside Mia. "This gym, this community, it's all because of you. You've given us so much, Leo. Let us give back to you." The celebration was filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt speeches from members who shared how true strength had changed their lives. As Leo listened to their stories, he realized just how far-reaching the impact of the gym had become. What had started as a dream born out of pain and rejection had grown into a movement of hope and empowerment. In the months that followed, Leo's vision for true strength continued to expand. He launched a scholarship program to provide free memberships for individuals who couldn't afford them, ensuring that finances would never be a barrier to fitness and community. He also partnered with local schools to introduce fitness programs that emphasized inclusivity and teamwork, teaching kids the value of acceptance from a young age. One of the most rewarding initiatives was the mentorship program, where experienced gym members volunteered to guide newcomers through their fitness journeys. The program not only helped people build confidence but also fostered deeper connections within the community. Leo often reflected on how different his life had become since that day at Iron Ridge. He had gone from feeling like an outsider to leading a movement that celebrated diversity and unity. And while the journey had been far from easy, it had been worth every moment. One day, while Leo was tidying up the gym, he noticed a young man lingering near the entrance. The man looked nervous, shifting his weight from foot to foot as he glanced around the room. Leo approached him with a warm smile. "Hey there," Leo said. "Welcome to True Strength. How can I help you?" The man hesitated, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm not sure if I belong here." Leo's heart ached at the familiar words. He placed a reassuring hand on the man's shoulder. "Of course you belong here. This gym is for everyone. Let me show you around." As Leo guided the young man through the gym, sharing its history and mission, he saw the tension begin to fade from the man's posture. By the time they reached the mural, the young man was smiling. "This place is amazing," he said. "Thank you for making me feel welcome." Leo nodded, his chest swelling with pride. "That's what true strength is all about, lifting each other up. We're glad to have you here." As True Strength entered its third year, Leo decided to host a conference dedicated to promoting inclusivity in the fitness industry. The event brought together gym owners, trainers, and advocates from across the country to share ideas and strategies for creating welcoming spaces. The conference was a resounding success, with attendees leaving inspired to implement change in their own communities. Leo was particularly moved by the stories of gym owners who had faced resistance but persevered in their efforts to promote inclusivity. One of the keynote speakers was Javier, the gym owner Leo had mentored. During his speech, Javier shared how Leo's guidance had transformed not only his gym but also his perspective. "Leo taught me that inclusivity isn't just a policy, it's a mindset," Javier said. "It's about actively creating a space where everyone feels they belong. And that mindset has changed my life, both personally and professionally." As Javier stepped off the stage, Leo embraced him, his heart full of gratitude. "You've done incredible work, Javier. I'm so proud of you." Javier smiled, his eyes shining. "I couldn't have done it without you, Leo. Thank you for believing in me." True Strength Fitness continued to thrive, its impact reaching far beyond the walls of the gym. The online platform grew into a global community, connecting people from all walks of life and providing resources for those who couldn't access traditional gyms. Leo often received messages from members around the world, sharing how True Strength had inspired them to embrace their own journeys. One message in particular stood out, a letter from a young trans man named Alex. "Leo," the letter began, "I can't put into words how much your story means to me. I've spent so much of my life feeling like I didn't belong, like there wasn't a place for me in the world. But seeing what you've built at True Strength has given me hope. You've shown me that it's possible to create a space where people like me are celebrated, not just tolerated. Thank you for being a light in the darkness." Reading Alex's words, Leo felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This was why he had started True Strength, to create a space where people could feel seen, valued, and empowered. And knowing that his work had touched lives far beyond his own community made every challenge worth it. As the years went on, Leo remained committed to the mission of True Strength. He continued to push for change in the fitness industry, advocating for policies and practices that prioritized inclusivity and respect. And while the journey was never without its obstacles, Leo faced each challenge with the resilience and determination that had brought him this far. One evening, as Leo locked up the gym, he took a moment to reflect on how far he had come. The mural on the wall, the bustling community, the countless lives that had been changed, it was all a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of standing up for what you believe in. Leo smiled to himself, his heart full of gratitude. He had turned rejection into empowerment, pain into purpose, and a dream into reality. And while the journey was far from over, he knew one thing for certain: True Strength wasn't just a gym. It was a movement. And it was only the beginning.